Hey there and welcome back to The Sims 3. My name is Pete and today we complete another episode of this attempt to fully complete The Sims 3 World Adventures. Last time we left off after expanding our museum with a French-themed wing that now serves as both kitchen and dining room. Sanat also reached painting level 10 and fulfills the visionary lifetime wish, while William used transfiguration to create a very rare soul piece gem. We also kept the nectar production running and dealt with a fireplace that managed to start not one, but two fires. To begin today's episode, we have one more gemstone-related development to check. The heart-shaped Tiberium we left out overnight has now grown into a large spire worth more than 36,000 simoleons. And since this always happens when Tiberium is left outside a Sim's inventory, this makes it one of the best moneymakers in the entire game. Now then, today it's finally time to return to Shang Simla, China. William packs the tent, Yooni arranges the trip, and together with Sanat, the two of them form our traveling party. Fabien and Captain Bluepants will stay home today to keep an eye on the lot and presumably on the nectar operation. Technically, this visit is mostly cleanup, but one of our remaining goals is to reach Grandmaster status in the martial arts tournament, and that could take a while. For that reason, we increased the travel length a little bit before setting off. Upon our arrival, Yooni's Dragon Cave quest updates immediately. The keystone we obtained in France now needs to be delivered to special merchant Kuhao Yid, while Sanat earns a few lifetime happiness points fulfilling his wish to visit China. And speaking of lifetime happiness, all three adventurers have accumulated quite a lot by now, so we purchase the Learned Relic Hunter reward for each of them. This improves their chances of finding more valuable relics, which should help with the few collections we still need to complete. William then checks the adventure board and picks up Fish of the Scholar, which requires him to deliver some fish to Amanita Okami. Fishing was already the plan for him today anyway, so this fits perfectly. Sanat begins the trip with a short gemstone collection tour. We are still missing Jade and Lapis Lazuli as the unique Shang Simla gems, and he finds the latter quickly, so that is one of many items crossed off the list. William and Yooni, meanwhile, both visit Kuhao Yid. William still has an active quest from France asking him to arrange free accommodation for someone traveling to China, and thanks to his good relationship with the special merchant, he can complete this part of the quest immediately, and all that remains now is to return to France and report the good news. Next, we use the Eyes of Horus to teleport William to the Dragon Springs, where he will likely spend quite a bit of time over the next few days, as all of the unique Chinese fish we still need can be caught here. Yooni, meanwhile, presents the keystone to Kuhao, and according to him, the warlord inside the Dragon Cave can only be defeated by a true martial arts master. To prove herself worthy, Yooni needs to reach martial arts level 10, that is already done, and successfully break a space rock. So we teleport her to the Martial Arts Academy and put her to work on the board breaker. Sanat, meanwhile, pays a visit to the local merchants. Book merchant Isa Okami sells the two unique recipes for egg rolls and stir-fry, and food merchant Cindy Zapawa has 2 of the 5 unique Chinese fish available, and since we eventually want to stock our home pond with all World Adventures fish, we buy 10 of each, in addition to some pomegranates and plums to use as bait for the remaining fish. As you can see, Yooni has broken several space rocks by now, leaving a few gemstones on the floor. Nothing valuable, unfortunately, but we still collect them before returning to Kuhao. Her next obstacle sounds more intimidating than it actually is. Only a martial arts Grand Master can defeat the Guardian of the Dragon Cave. The game is a little misleading here, though. We do not actually need to complete the entire Grandmaster skill challenge. We simply need to win the next tournament match, which is of course much easier. Sanat, meanwhile, continues his shopping trip. General merchant Matthew Xiao is serving customers topless for some reason, but he does have everything we need. 10 showers in a can, a Chinese-themed chest for the museum, and a fortune cookie maker, another unique object still missing from our Chinese collection. Purchasing it also fulfills one of Sanat's wishes. With the shopping done, he now turns to insects. China has 3 unique beetles and butterflies we want to catch, and the first one spawns very close to the market here, a bamboo straight swift butterfly. Back at the academy, Yooni has already called her next tournament opponent, Nimi Yit, an elderly woman, so hopefully not the most difficult matchup. We also learn that Sanat has caught the second butterfly, a yellow band dart. With the collection helper, finding these is of course fairly easy. Yooni's fight against Nimi is over quickly and she wins decisively, and that is enough to already progress the Dragon Cave quest. However, since tournament opponents can only be challenged during the day, we might as well stay a little longer and make use of the remaining time. As Yooni heads upstairs to meet her next challenger, we receive word that Sanat has found a piece of jade, and with that, both unique Chinese gemstones we were missing are now collected. Yooni's next opponent is Amanita Okami. By the way, as with all Sims in these destinations, the name comes from one of the channel's patron supporters or channel members in the naming rights tier and above. Either way, Amanita's green belt suggests a martial arts skill of no more than 5, and so the result is another comfortable victory. Next on the list is Nimi Yit again, which is a little strange, but at least convenient, since she is still on the lot. While Yooni wins that fight too, Sanat purchases some dried food. The special merchant refused to come to the market and sell us pemmican, and our supplies are starting to run low, so regular travel food will have to do for the moment. Let us also briefly check in with William as well. He has caught his first dragonfish and is making good progress with the Ochiba koi. 8 collected so far, only 2 more are needed. Up next, Sanat now heads into the tomb beneath the market to search a few treasure chests. We are still missing several relics, although I will spare you the disappointment waiting behind roughly 95% of these chests and only show you the worthwhile finds. This one here, for example, the Vase of Amin, one of the 2 Chinese vases still missing from our collection. Our first travel day then ends with Yooni returning to Kuhao. It is too late for another tournament match, so we turn in the quest instead. We learn that to protect herself from the Guardian of the Dragon Cave, an amulet of protection shall be crafted, and so Yooni now needs to deliver 3 pieces of jade for it. Conveniently, the quest marks the required materials on the map. 2 pieces can be found near the cemetery, and Sanat has already collected a few more, so gathering everything does not take long. We will continue all of our adventures tomorrow. First, everyone needs some sleep, and it seems like after 30 episodes, I have only just now discovered that more than 2 Sims can sleep inside the Sultan's tabernacle. For some reason, I had always assumed it was limited to 2, but no, as you can see, all 3 of our adventurers fit in just fine. On the next morning then, William returns to Dragon Springs to continue fishing, while Sanat and Yooni make use of the tent for a brief romantic interlude, including a fun little animation and, more importantly, a fully restored fun bar. Yooni then meets Kuhao and hands over the 3 pieces of jade. There is no proper quest pop-up this time, but the next requirement appears immediately: 2 pieces of platinum. With the map markers active, finding those is of course no problem. Sanat meanwhile searches another tomb for useful relics, although once again none of the chests contain anything we still need. Back at the market, Yooni delivers the platinum and finally receives permission to enter the Dragon Cave. Her martial arts skills have been proven, the amulet of protection is complete, and the path is now open. We are not going in just yet though. The Dragon Cave will serve as the grand finale of our stay in Shang Simla, and before that I want Yooni to complete the Grandmaster Challenge. While we wait for her next sparring opponent, we make a few purchases from Kuhao. First, 100 pieces of pemmican, which should easily last us for the rest of the series. Then a certificate of partnership with China, allowing us to stay longer on future trips, and while we may never actually need it, for the sake of full completion we will of course take it. Finally, we also buy 4 more Sultan's Tabernacles. Each one costs 2,500 ancient coins, but we have plenty, and these tents are arguably one of, if not the best moneymakers in World Adventures. Each one can be sold for 50,000 simoleons, so selling 3 immediately earns us 150,000. Very fittingly, Yooni also has a wish for the household to be worth more than 300,000 simoleons. The value of our home lot in Riverview is not counted while we are traveling, but this should put us in a much stronger position and hopefully provide enough money to finance the rest of our museum. We'll keep the 4th tent for now, although we may sell that one later as well. With the shopping complete, Yooni's next challenger arrives, Bash Yit, Kuhao's son. His blue belt indicates a martial arts level of no more than 7, so this should be manageable. Sanat continues searching tombs in the meantime, and we receive notice that William has reached fishing level 10. Shortly after that, however, Bash defeats Yooni, and Sanat's chests are not any more successful. The rematch then goes better. Yooni wins and advances to tournament rank 2, reaching rank 5 is necessary for Grandmaster status. Her next opponent is Isaac Yit, Bash's brother, who is already nearby. Sanat still has no luck finding a useful relic though, but Yooni keeps making progress and defeats Isaac before calling her next challenger. That now brings us to Timushi Okami, another fairly straightforward victory. We are moving quickly, although the challenge requires 20 tournament wins in total, so there is still a fair bit of work to do. Back underground, Sanat finally finds something worthwhile, the Dropa Stone of the Vortex, one of the 2 Dropa stones still missing from our collection. Yooni meanwhile has to face Michelle Wong, an opponent who defeated her before in an earlier episode, and who does so again here, prompting an immediate rematch. Sanat moves on to the Temple of Heaven for more treasure chests. I'll let you know if he finds anything. In the meantime, we are informed that Yooni has lost to Michelle again, so it seems like she's got Yooni's number. Sanat's goal, by the way, are these 3 treasure chests at the center of a rather lengthy maze. Each one of them has a chance to contain a high-value relic, so while he makes his way there, Yooni tries Michelle again. The 3rd attempt then finally goes our way. Yooni defeats Michelle and can move on to the next opponent, and while she waits for them to arrive, Sanat reaches the center of the maze. The first chest contains only ancient coins, the second holds a broken Chinese vase, worth a decent amount but not what we need. The third, however, is the jackpot, a Chinese foo dog, the only relic from China in the Dangerous Creatures collection. The other 3 pieces come from France and Egypt and are already in our possession, which means this find here completes the entire collection. Back at the academy then, Yooni's next opponent is Nahi Kirizan, another blue belt. This time she wins on the first attempt and advances to tournament rank 3. And there may still be enough daylight for one more fight, so we call Mixi Iroki, Yooni's own sister. As the day comes to an end, William heads back with 9 dragonfish in his inventory, leaving only 1 more to catch. Mixi, however, never shows up, so Yooni also calls it a night and heads off to sleep. The next morning begins with Sanat going for a jog to fulfill his wish for a cardio workout. Afterwards, he heads to the Martial Arts Academy to continue training. He is already about halfway between levels 9 and 10 and has a wish to master the martial arts skill completely. To speed up the remaining progress, we purchase the Fast Learner Lifetime Reward. Admittedly, this might have been more useful a little earlier in the series, especially during Sanat's long push towards painting level 10, but it should still help with the final stretch here. William, meanwhile, has caught enough fish to complete the quest he picked up at the start of the trip, so he delivers them to Amanita Okami. That takes care of the last remaining regular quest in Shang Simla. The only one left now is Yooni's Dragon Cave adventure. With that done, William returns to Dragon Springs, while Yooni finally meets her sister in the marketplace for the next tournament match. William does not need long though. He catches dragonfish number 10, which means he now has 10 of each of the 5 unique fish found in Shang Simla. His fishing duties are therefore officially complete. Now, I had hoped that this would take roughly as long as Yooni's climb towards Grand Master status, but apparently I misjudged that ever so slightly. Yooni is making good progress though. She defeats Mixie Tutunan and can move on to the next opponent. Sanat, meanwhile, is fatigued and not yet at martial arts level 10, so he enters the halls of the Lost Army next to search for more treasure, but once again he finds nothing we need. William has at least been productive with the recipe books Sanat purchased earlier. He has already learned stir-fry and is now working on egg rolls. Since the tombs are not cooperating for Sanat at the moment, he visits the relic merchant instead. The shop can occasionally stock some of the more valuable relics, but this time all we grab is a dive well fragment. Back at the tournament, Yooni defeats her brother Akitora and is now officially the champion of the family, although not yet the champion of Shang Simla. Her next opponent is Mandy Waller, another elderly sim, but clearly not one to underestimate. With an impressive jumping spinning kick, she hands Yooni a defeat. There is at least some good news. This was Yooni's 75th sparring match, which now completes the Simfu King Skill Challenge, and that should make all future matches noticeably easier. As evening approaches, Sanat heads out in search of one final rare insect, while we learn that Mandy has defeated Yooni again. Sanat's target is the red assassin bug, the rarest of Shang Simla's 3 unique insects, and one that only appears for a few hours before nightfall. And he manages to catch it, completing the full Chinese insect collection. Back at the academy, the 3rd match against Mandy finally goes Yooni's way. She earns some lifetime happiness points for the victory and can at last move on to the next challenger. Unfortunately though, not today. Yooni is now too tired to continue, which is somewhat poor timing as there are still a few usable hours left in the day, so everyone heads off to bed early enough that William is already fully rested again shortly before midnight. And so he begins the next stretch by returning to base camp and sending the latest batch of gemstones away to be cut. Yooni, meanwhile, gives Sanat a massage to get rid of the soreness from yesterday's workout, and thanks in part to her flirty trait, the interaction succeeds and the two of them can teleport back to the martial arts academy. Yooni resumes breaking space rocks, while Sanat now continues his push towards martial arts level 10. William, meanwhile, has made his way to Han's orchard, where he now starts harvesting the local plants. He is very close to gardening level 8 and has a wish to reach it, so we also purchase the fast learner reward for him to speed things up a little. And just a short while later, he makes it. With that done, we can now take care of another pair of wishes and purchase a vacation home. Shang Simla has several lovely options, but I like this one on the Ancestor Hills overlooking most of the town. It is also fairly affordable, so William and Yooni can both fulfill their wishes without putting too much of a dent in our funds. Back at the academy, Sanat is once again fatigued and still not quite at martial arts level 10, so we switch him over to meditation for now, which also fulfills another wish for him. Yooni takes a shower, then collects the gemstones produced by the board breaker. Among them are a very rare soul piece gem and 2 pieces of Tiberium, and we already know how much more valuable those can become if we give them a bit of time. She then sits down to meditate beside Sanat while we wait for the next tournament opponent, and shortly after, Sanat finally reaches martial arts level 10, earning himself almost 6,000 lifetime happiness points as a reward. He can now clean himself up, while Yooni meets her next opponent, Nahi Kirizan again. Another blue belt, another comfortable victory. Next is Brian Sopp, a fellow black belt, and as such the match looks impressive, but unfortunately the result does not go Yooni's way. And the rematch is not much better either, ending in a 2-1 defeat, despite Yooni now being an alleged Simfu king. Eventually then, with Sanat beginning another cardio workout in the background, his next long-term goal being athletics level 10, Yooni finally wins her third match against Brian. She is fatigued afterwards though, which means we cannot continue immediately. That is rather unfortunate. These forced breaks are slowing down the Grandmaster progress considerably. We jump over to William, who has been awake for quite a long time now, so he now simply takes a nap inside the academy. At this point, there really is not much else for him to do. Yooni now meditates beside Sanat running on the treadmill, and Sanat soon reaches athletics level 9 for another 1000 lifetime happiness points. Then it is Yooni's turn to nap, in the hope that she can recover enough energy for one more opponent before nightfall. Sanat teleports back to the tent to sleep properly, but despite the nap, Yooni is unfortunately still too tired to spar with Mandiwala again, so there is no real alternative but to send her to bed as well. William, on the other hand, is soon well rested again, and he visits the food store now to try out the fortune cookie maker, which is mostly a novelty item. Fortune cookies barely satisfy hunger, but they do provide a short message and can occasionally grant either a positive or negative moodlet. As luck would have it, the machine breaks in the process. We have more than enough time though, so William attempts the repairs and then tries again. This cookie here provides only a small amount of hunger and a few words of wisdom, with a neutral outcome this time. Good or bad fortunes can give a +10 or -10 mood bonus, but this one comes with no unique moodlet at all. William also checks the relic merchant. I have been doing this off-screen every day in the hope that one of our missing pieces appears, and this time we finally get lucky and can purchase the Dropa Stone of the Sky, the last Dropa Stone still missing from the collection. While we are here, we also buy 4 platinum ores. They are valuable enough that smelting them into bars should still leave us with a profit. Just before 5 in the morning, Sanat then returns to the Martial Arts Academy to continue working out, while Yooni wakes shortly after and begins the day with meditation. William, meanwhile, checks the mailbox at our new vacation home, sends away the latest gemstones to be cut, and sells everything that came back from the previous match for some extra cash. Yooni's next tournament match is against Mandiwala, and this time she wins. That advances her to tournament rank 4, only one more rank to go. The bad news is that her next opponent is Michelle Wong again, easily the most troublesome fighter she has faced so far. For once though, this match goes Yooni's way, ending in a 2-1 victory. Back at the academy, Sanat reaches another milestone. Athletics level 10 earns him another 5,750 lifetime happiness points, and now gives him 4 maxed out skills in total: athletics, martial arts, photography, and painting. He truly is a jack of all trades. In the meantime, William has started visiting dig sites around town, although at this point we are mostly just looking for something productive to do while Yooni finishes the tournament challenge. Sanat switches to breaking space rocks for the very same reason. We may as well make a little money while we wait. To hopefully speed up the final stretch, we purchase the Midlife Crisis Lifetime Reward for Yooni and replace her artistic trait with Disciplined. This is one of the best traits for martial arts and, among other benefits, improves her chances of winning sparring matches. Very fittingly, the next result is a 2-1 victory over Favida Xiao, and next is Mandiwala yet again, who is conveniently still nearby in the bookshop, and that match ends in another decisive victory. Bash Yitch, the next opponent, then arrives with his entire family in tow. Although the small fan club does not help him much, Yooni destroys him in 2 rounds. And then, once again, we draw Michelle Wong. And despite Martial Arts Level 10, the completed Sim Fu skill challenge and the new discipline trait, Michelle still defeats Yooni 2-0. We immediately try again, knowing this may be the last match of the day before fatigue sets in, and Michelle wins this one too. And you may have seen this coming, Yooni is now too tired to continue, so we need another full night of sleep that costs us yet another day of travel time, all for the final push towards Grandmaster. At this point, I am fairly convinced that this is the most time-consuming skill challenge in the entire World Adventures expansion. So, let us skip ahead to the following day, where Michelle arrives with her entire household for what must be at least the 10th match between the two by now. While William then collects the latest mail from the vacation home, it finally happens. Yooni defeats her arch-nemesis, earns 1,750 lifetime happiness points, reaches Grandmaster rank in the martial arts tournament, and with that she completes the final martial arts skill challenge and fulfills her lifetime wish. Yooni is now officially a true martial arts master, leaving only one lifetime wish still incomplete across the entire expansion. The martial arts skill is also completely finished, which means nectar making is now the last remaining World Adventure skill on our list. And so, with full completion drawing ever closer, I think this marks a good point to make the cuts. Next time we will then finally enter the Dragon Cave, wrap up our remaining business in Shang Simla, and then return home to begin the Chinese wing of our museum. As always, I hope you join me for that, and I also hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you did, I would be very happy if you could leave a thumbs up. If you like what I'm doing and want to support me and my channel further, then you can of course also go ahead and subscribe to stay up to date, grab some merch over on shop.petecomplete.com, or become a channel member or Patreon supporter. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time. Cheers!